So, how was this analysis for you? I mean, being head of the top group and all.
Easy.
It was easy?
Sure, you got all the best
people. True. You weren't, that's right, you weren't exactly on the, you didn't have to fight the group bugs.
Counted more than 500 emails on the EB list.
Yes.
On the EB list. For the last 2 months, and there are many more in the top group internally.
Oh, so. And many more between ourselves. And ICQs and...
But you know what you should do is total that up as like statistics when the PRL finally comes out. Say, you know, this many emails. And, so was this fun or was it difficult from the convener point of view for this analysis?
No, actually, the EB worked exceptionally well.
Yeah, it did actually.
So we went into, it was a crunch in the end. So all we did from the conveners is just pushing them and say, CDF is going to be out before you.
Right.
So get going.
That's what Bernd said. And you guys owe us, you know, all this last push, you know, because you heard we were going to have 3 Sigma, and then that's why you got, you know, rolling. You know.
Yeah, that was. We owe them. We owe them that last push. Absolutely.
Good point. Good point. All right. And so next push is the PRL.
Next push is the PRL.
Do we have to do it before he goes on vacation?
Sure.
Yeah. No, it's going to be the weekend. You know. Just the weekend. You know, crunch time.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So you're Shubner's boss. You satisfied with her work? You satisfied with her work?
Oh, yeah, very much. Yeah.
She's really good, right?
She's really good.
So you're giving her a raise next week?
Next week not, but pretty soon. Yeah, I think she's up for
that. But you also run the top group.
That's right.
Right. So I have to back up because the camera's. If you get too close to me, all I get are your nose hairs. This is a very high resolution camera. You may not.
Let's be careful here.
You may not want that. You may not want that. All right. So as top convener, what was this analysis like?
It was very exciting. It was almost the top discovery, not quite in the end.
Yeah, not quite in the end. We kind of knew this one was coming.
Yes,
more than we knew the top was coming.
But the interplay of whether CDF would have something or not.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good point. So were you? How much do you know about that? Can you describe any of that? The whole sort of, you know, each of us sort of jockeying and speeding up and slowing down because nobody else has said anything about that.
I don't know the CDF side.
Well, screw this.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter what they did. It only matters what we thought they would do. Yeah. So I think it was important that we thought CDF would was aiming for a significant result and was trying to do the same thing we were doing, and that kept we thought rolling on this side.
We thought they were going to give that out around DPF, so that would have been.
We thought they would come out
I went to DPF
just before DPF, and you had to go.
I had to go.
You were ready to be shot down there.
Yeah. And but so this really ratcheted up the pressure because of course you don't want to be scooped.
Yeah. So we tried to have something for DPF, but we didn't. But then we were able to actually. I mean, it looked like there is something, and we were able to keep this momentum going.
Right.
That was really
and even
exciting.
last week's hint that last week they were going to give a wine and cheese revised all those fears.
Yeah,
I started getting emails about.
We were worried a little. Yeah. I was worried. Yeah.
Of
course.
Yeah, that certainly added an element of excitement and loss of sleep to the process.
But you still had to have 2 experiments.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, that's the competition, and now we need the cross.
If there wouldn't have been a competition, we would not have been.
We would not have a result today.
We wouldn't have it today.
And it's unlikely we would have made the Higgs. We'd even try the Higgs until the LHC was giving us serious competition. Sorry. Right. Dmitri.
How are you going?
So our other fearless leader.
We're celebrating.
Yeah, we are. So how was this working your way through this?
This was great. Yeah. So there was so much good traffic, so many interesting comments and discussions and frustration and.
Did it keep you up did it make you wake up late at night? So what was the thing that worried you the most?
The thing which worried me the most, was how to convince others that what we are doing is indeed correct.
That's the hard part.
So that's the hard part. So somehow, again, at some point I make myself to be sure that what we're doing is correct. But it's really much more difficult to convince others that all details of your analysis are correct, that errors are estimated correctly. And that was probably the most difficult part, yes. So, okay.
I know. This is not normal, but what can I say? That is definitely the hardest part. What would you say to grad students?
Yeah, that's right. I think it's hard to imagine having as much fun as this.
It sounds like
legally, and almost doing almost anything else. So, well, isn't that why most of us do it in the end, because it's fun?
I don't think any of us would make it if we didn't think this was fun, because the hours and the pay are way too long and too low to really compensate us for at least not at real world.
I was editing here.
So what was your role in this analysis as co-leader of the collaboration?
About as useful as it is in most of the other analyses that come out of DZERO at the moment.
I don't think I need to translate that. No, but that's not true at all. You were a heckler. You killed the combination single-handedly.
Well,
okay.
So in fact, I mean, Mont pointed something out to me that actually hadn't occurred to me. I was involved in killing the last single top observation.
Oh, really?
UA1 had the signal for W to TB.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I was.
And so you were part of the...
I was the person that most people blamed for having killed
and rightly, so that actually ended up as giving you credit.
Eventually,
yes, but
yes.
maybe not at first.
Not initially, yeah.
What was the mass you were expecting the top?
So that it was. This was in the days when W's decayed to T and BB bar. So the mass that was measured was 44 GeV. Which was bad at the time, was considered bad news for Tristan, which was an E plus E minus collider at 60 GeV.
Tristan was just generally bad. That was my first experiment. Generally bad news. Yeah, I was 1 year on that before I switched to CDF when it was kind of clear that I should.
That was the one that they thought there was going to be a way to study the top, but then they realized it was not going to.
Right.
I spent most of my time as a graduate student on shift at DZERO at Petra E plus E minus ring. So we did 20 MeV scans in centre of mass energy looking for toponium. At sort of 30 GeV or so. So the mass, with the mass of the B being 5 GeV, everyone was confidently expecting. All the numerologists made all sorts of sort of predictions. It'll be 15 GeV, and then when much later. Yeah, it wasn't really until you have you need forward-backward asymmetries at the Z pole to be able to see top. So you do forward-backward asymmetries at lower energies than E plus E minus, and you can see the effect of the Z. So that was one of the places where people really thought they could determine the Z mass of QGV, was by looking at the forward-backward asymmetries and things at low mass. But you need really high precision of the Z mass in order to see the indirect effect at the top.
Okay.